course, to delve into any sporting campaign, regardless of whether you're sitting on the couch or actually on the field, you need the information. And we're going to delve a little bit deeper into the dynamic career of the dynamic Willie, the versatile South African star who's left an indelible mark on the field, I think on the rugby landscape, from club triumphs to international glory. So we're going to explore his journey, and Eddie has thankfully stuck around to explore a player who's almost got a singular path in rugby. He's kind of got his own classification, which is beautiful. So we're going to go through a couple of his amazing moments, but I'm going to start with his versatility, because we always write him off and then call on him when we need him. What is it about Willie that has made him such a stalwart, made him the modern Rolls-Royce of the Springbok team?
Graham, I think his unassuming ability to play in the back line. I think he had a few games at fly-off as well on the wing, so he's just been unassuming and got on with it. I think that's really been what has made Willie a legend in SA Rugby.
Yeah, and I'd love to know how many of the great try scorers he's released in their efforts to become the top point scorers. And when we speak about that versatility, obviously a South African rugby sensation, he showcased his adaptability as that versatile backline player, popping up in so many positions. But we obviously love him at fullback, but he can play wing, he can play fly half. When we look back at his club career, obviously so many of these amazing stars began somewhere, and in Boland Cavaliers is where he contributed to the 2011 Currie Cup First Division title win, and then of course went through to the Griquas and then the Cheetahs, where he made a significant impact in Super Rugby. How important were those structures, or are those structures? Because it almost seems like varsity rugby, Currie Cup rugby has become a direct feeder into the Springbok team, because it's so fluid. We don't know where we are playing in Super Rugby, URC, wherever. You need to have your local structures shored up, and it pumps out the players. How important is the Currie Cup in our kind of ecosystem?
I think very important, Graham. It gives you an opportunity to express yourself and also to be seen by other teams and be selected then. I think Willie's a perfect example as what has happened. Now we do have the Varsity Cup. I think most of the players are now being selected out of the Varsity Cup into the regional teams, if not straight into the Springboks.
For sure.
I think, I mean, look at young Caden Moody, 20 years old, an amazingly talented player, and playing for the Springboks in his first World Cup. And we heard his story 4 years ago. He was just watching on the telly, and now he's performing.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you've got players like that who would have grown up watching Willie Roux, and now he's on a field with Willie, and I think he would have seen him ply his trade way beyond our borders. And it begs a few other questions. I know he's had a huge amount of success in Japan with the Cannon Eagles, then later joining the English Premiership side, the Wasps, and then of course recently did a stint for the Verblitz in Japan, where the big money is, and we absolutely love the fact that South Africans can make money like that. And he's also played back home for the Bulls. Having this international exposure, in particular through the URC, the Northern Hemisphere connection to the style of play, yes, but to the referees. Yeah. How important is it for, right now, looking at these Springboks, how comfortable we seem to be against the top players in the Northern Hemisphere?
I think if we reflect back a couple of years ago when we joined the URC, everyone was up in arms. What are you doing? We want to play against New Zealand. We want to play against Australia. And I think we've really benefited from that. As a Springbok team and a Springbok group, the players' performance have benefited from that. Look what is happening in Australia and New Zealand and their form of late. So I think it's been really a good omen for us to be in that competition. Now you're exposed to international refereeing, Northern Hemisphere specifically.
Yeah, and they're pedantic about the way they do it, yeah.
Absolutely, and the conditions. You're playing those conditions, it definitely gives you inside intel and experience on the day.
No, because he probably knows, Willie, I'm not going to go as far as should Willie be in that starting lineup or not, or how do we employ him. Eddie, I love you guys. Thank you so much for giving up very, very valuable time to be here. Good luck this weekend. I know it's only Romania, but I know your heart's going to be out there just like ours. And of course, we want to get from you your predictions as well. How are you feeling about the Springbok squad? And of course, our next big hurdle on Sunday up against Romania. We want those score predictions, 063 408 8863. What scoreline are you going for?